What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Alexander here, head instructor of Tate at the Toronosume School of Martial Arts. Excuse me. Today I wanted to talk about the physical training, i.e. the just overall physical fitness training of Tate, right? It's my belief that every martial art, combat style, whatever you want to call them, should have some form of physical training to supplement that. Ultimately, you want to let the art build your skills and build your body in the way the art moves and through the techniques, right? So kicking and punching and blocking and moving and kata builds you in the way the art, but to supplement that, you should have some base level fitness as your core, right? Because ultimately that will do more for the majority of us to serve us in a self-defense situation over the punching and the kicking. I mean, you can get a pretty strong, firm body from punching and kicking, but having a physical base is a great place to start. I mean, even with nothing else, having a physical base, general health and fitness, general physical base is a great place to start, right? And on my list, what I require of my students is push-ups, crunches, squats, pull-ups, dips, burpees, running, and swimming, right? And we start off just with sets of those, and the swimming is just really a pass-fail. Either you can do it or you can't do it, and if you can't do it, we're gonna work on learning how to swim. But of course, going up through the ranks, the numbers and intensity should increase with that, just to have something to shoot for, right? Always be working, always be pushing yourself, right? So I want to talk about the reasons why I chose those exercises per se. Out of all of the methods of working out, why I chose those. Now, I grew up, I really got my strength and ability from playing football, right? So that was a lot of weightlifting, pushing sleds, and then playing ball itself, right? So I spent a lot of time in the gym, and it wasn't until I started doing kung fu that I actually started to get a level of strength that I had never touched before. It was just different, right? So instead of lifting weights, we didn't lift weights in training. We did more calisthenics than anything. High numbers. At one time, I was a push-up machine. Sets of 50 were like sitting down, getting down and knocking out 10, right? So I can't see that being terribly, I'm not gonna say useful. It just takes a long time, and I'd much rather get on the bench for a couple of sets than trying to bang out 500 push-ups. But there's something to be said about banging out 500 push-ups. But starting off with the push-ups, right? Push-ups is probably, in my opinion, is probably the most perfect exercise that there is. I mean, aside from a burpee, right? But we're not going to talk about a burpee. That's a combination of things, right? I guess we will talk about a burpee. Anyway, push-up, you have to be firm from the tips of your toes all the way up to your neck. You have to have a solid core, and you have to have relatively decent upper body strength to perform a push-up. Not just banging out numbers, but I'm talking perfect push-ups under control, lowering your body, elbows breaking the 90-degree plane or touching your chest to the floor. And I require of my students just the basic perfect push-up. And of course, there are many variations of push-ups, and I like them all, and they're all very useful. But training, we get into some of those variations, but really as requirements, I just need to see the basic push-ups, right? And what does that give us as far as self-defense, right? Well, in order to do a push-up, I have to engage my core, and I have to put the power into my arms, into my upper body, right? Like, so what am I going to need if I need to throw that punch, or I need to push that person off me, or I need to push something off of myself, or I'm down on the ground and I need to push myself up to get up, right? I'm going to need those muscles to be trained, right? Following that, crunches, right? And crunches are just to tie the core into that whole pushing something off yourself. I mean, you could arguably do a lot of different ab work, and we do a lot of different ab work, and I like all ab work. Well, not all of it, most of it. But leg raises, knee ups, V ups are all beautiful, but just base level, thinking somebody coming from the couch to the dojo, right? We'll start off with crunches and we'll increase those numbers, and that's really all I require from my students. And that's to have a solid platform to push, to punch from, right? Of course, there's things that are rotational, and we get into some of that with other supplemental exercises, but at a base level, crunches. I'm talking about like all level 1 exercises here, right? Anybody that comes through my doors will at least be able to do these when they leave. If they can't do anything else, right? They can't do any, barring they're not have some sort of physical disability of some sort. They should be able to do these. And even if they do have a physical disability, we'll address that individually, of course, right? And then next is squats. Okay, the squats are very important for a whole bunch of reasons, right? All of your power, all of your drive, your balance, everything comes from strong legs, right? Strong legs, mobile hips, and you can attain all that with squats. I mean, look at Mike Tyson. Can you say Mike Tyson didn't have powerful legs? Was he on the squat rack, packing on weight? No, he was just doing squats in high numbers, and he could punch a ton, right? Punching doesn't come from your arms. Punching power comes from the legs, and strong legs, mobile hips is right where it's at. So you need those strong legs, and lifting things, right? My deadlift, that's coming from my arms and my legs. Strong core, strong back, right? And I need to pick something up off somebody. I need strong legs for that. One of my people goes down, and I got to get them out of there. I got to drag them. I got to hold them with my hands, but that drive is coming from that lower body. So we got to have the strong legs, right? Strong legs, you have the ability to do work. Now, pull-ups are very important, in my opinion. In the realm of self-defense, I say pull-ups are very important because there's no telling when you might have to get yourself, to save your own life, get yourself over something that is above your head, right? So climbing fences, right? I need to be able to jump up, grab a hold of that fence, pull my weight up at least once, right? To get myself over that fence. Climbing up ladders, need that pull strength. Half ladders, where it doesn't extend to the ground so you can't get your feet up on it, man. Say you need to get up onto the roof, right? And all it requires is you to do a couple of pull-ups. You have that strength, right? My guys are going to have that strength at least 1, 2, 3 times at the very least, right? You got to be able to do it once. You fall off a cliff and you're dangling from the edge. Can you do a single pull-up to save your own life? I don't know. It can happen. Dips are along that same line. You know what I mean? Whereas pull-ups has got me going here, dips has me pushing myself, from the floor up, from the bottom up. Climbing into my attic, get to get through that threshold up there, put my hands on the side, pick my legs up. Do I have the abdominal strength to pick my legs up? Do I have the arm strength to support my own weight? All right, really, it's about supporting your weight. I don't care how much you weigh, not really. I mean, I'd like all my students to be a healthy weight, but that's between you and your dietitian and their doctors, right? Them and their dietitian and their doctors, but they have to be able to move. Whatever weight you're at, you have to be able to move it. So pull-ups and dips are moving that weight up, and sometimes you may have to do that. There might come a time when you have to do that to save your own life. And then burpees, right? And I would say burpees are the most perfect not exercise because it's a combination of things. So I'm not calling it a single exercise. You know, it consists of a squat, a thrust, a push-up, mountain climbing motion, and then an explosive jump. Right? It's a very athletic movement, and we do burpees because it draws everything together. Right? You have a squat, you got your push-up there. You're engaging your abdominals, right? And then you need to be explosive with your legs, right? So jumping is very, very important to pop yourself up off the ground, drop low, and then come back up again. Are movements that you would conceivably do in a life or death situation. You know, I dive behind something to get down. I need to get to my feet. I spring up, and then I take off, or bound over something. Hit the deck, need to pop myself back up, right? Burpees will prepare you for that. Cardiovascularly too, it's taxing. You get enough of them. And of course those have all types of variations as well, and all of those are good, and love to train those, but I require my students just basic burpees. Squat down, kick out, push up, kick back in, and hands to the sky. Following that is running and swimming, right? Like I said, swimming is initially pass or fail. Like I do require lengths, right? So many meters per belt level, right? Just like I said, just have something to work toward. But really, I want my students to have the ability to swim, right? Because it doesn't matter how good of a puncher or a kicker or what type of grappling if you fall in the freaking water and you can't swim, that water's going to kick your ass, right? So training to defend yourself is training to defend yourself against all threats, all life threats, right? In my opinion, not just those that are human, right? Not just somebody trying to punch you in the face, right? Say you're at the edge of a pool and somebody pushes you in the pool. You got caught slipping and you fell into or they pushed you into the pool. They surprised you and you can't swim. Well, that person just won. You know what I mean? And if you die, then they'll probably go to jail. But if you can swim, you can save your own life, right? Swim to the edge, pull yourself up, do that little dip motion to get yourself out of the pool, right? So swimming is a life skill. Period. And then running. Now, running, I would say, not just running, but all road work, really, right? And in order to save your own life, facilitate saving your own life, you need to have your legs under you, right? You need to have your legs under you. A lot of these things depend on legs. Squats, burpees, running, swimming. I mean, you could arguably swim without legs, but you need your legs for most of these things. And running, road work, keeps your legs underneath you, right? Can you walk to save your own life, right? You're driving from here to San Antonio. It's late at night and your car runs out of gas, right? Poor planning, piss poor planning. You ran out of gas. Can you walk to that gas station and not have a heart attack, right? Jogging. Right? Can you jog a mile? Can you jog 5 miles? If you can jog 5 miles, then you could probably walk 10, I'm guessing, or 7, or something like that, right? Can you make it home on foot without your body being too beat up, right? Sprinting, right? Can you sprint? Can you maintain your top speed, whatever that is, right, without having a heart attack? Without injuring yourself, without blowing out a hamstring, right? Can you do that to save your own life? Can you make it 100 yards, right? Can you sprint 100 yards to save your own life, right? Like I said, it doesn't matter what size you are, you just have to be able to move. Now, if you're 350 pounds, can you sprint? If you can do that, man, then we're good, man, as far as I'm concerned. If you can save your own life, great. Now, outside of that, being 350 pounds, if you're 5'9", or anything under like 6'8", I don't know what the standards are, then there's a whole other life threat there that you need to discuss with your doctor and your dietitian, right? So, but I require miles from my students, like I said, just to have something to work toward, right? I need to jog 2 miles in the beginning, right? And then a mile is tacked on each time. And we run sprints, shuttle runs, I go for walks, right? It helps keep the weight down, helps keep your heart healthy, right? And it helps you if you should need it one day, right? If I got to bolt from here out of the door, I know I can make that movement, right? I know I can do that. I know I can, sprint out of here if I needed to, right? I know if I'm half a mile from the house and my wife calls me and says, hey, I need you to get here because baby's having an allergic reaction. I know I'll be there in a few moments, right? A few minutes. I know I can get there, right? So, can I sprint to save somebody else's life? Can you run to save somebody else's life, right? Will you get there in time, right? That's what I want my guys thinking about when they're swimming, when they're running, right? When they're doing all these calisthenics, right? To supplement their training. It's not just about punching and kicking, right? It's about having the body that you need to have in order to save those that you need to save, in order to defend yourself, in order to defend your family, in order to defend your loved ones. All right, well, that's it. That's all I got to say for today. So, man, get your base level fitness down. You can try this. You can, keep up with this plan. Wake up in the morning, do some push-ups, do some crunches, squats, some pull-ups, some dips, some burpees, run a little bit, swim every once in a while. Maintain that. This may not seem terribly difficult right now, but if you can do this when you're 80, if you can do this when you're 70, you're in good shape. If you can do this when you're 80, you're in phenomenal shape. See how long this can carry you. What happens if you can do this whole list? Just 10 push-ups, 10 crunches, 10 squats, set of pull-ups, 10 dips, some burpees, run and get in the water and swim when you're 85 years old, right? Have it maintain you. Let it maintain you. All right, peace, y'all. Be good.